I came home, my backpack, and all of a sudden, the police started knocking down the door. You know, one day I went to school. I was like in kindergarten and it was career day, and all the kids were like, oh yeah, my mom's a doctor, my dad's, you know, a plumber. Like, they had all these beautiful careers, and it was my turn. And I looked at the teacher and I was like, oh, my mom works at a gas station. I remember I had told my teacher like, oh yeah, my dad's in jail and my uncle has guns and stuff, like, which is cool, like guns. And he just have these like different friends that come in at the house, I guess. That same day, I came home, my backpack, going across the street with my favorite uncle, and all of a sudden, the police started knocking down the doors. I didn't know what was going on. I just seen them like arresting my uncles and handcuffs. At age of 7, I was with my grandma. I remember had one bag of clothes. I had maybe like 3 outfits, and I had this pink and white dress, and I was going to my first foster mom house. I was going to D-Land, and I just remember seeing all these trees, just thinking like, oh, I might be starting a new life. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where I'm going at, like who I'm going to be meeting. And I was just in the back seat, just like, here we go. So I went to meet my first foster mom, who I'd never seen before. During that time as a kid, I feel like I really couldn't be myself because I was always with strangers. During that time, they told me like, oh, your mom is unstable, that's why you're not with her, so we put you in foster care. Like, this is your foster mom, just kind of like do what you can, be nice, and be like not bad, I guess. My foster mother, she didn't really have money to take us on trips, so we'd just always be home, just home or in the backyard playing tag or freeze tag. Like, that was just kind of my life. So after those first 3 years, she had got married and I had to be removed from the house. I had to move, so I went to my second foster mom. Being with her was very interesting. We definitely got like whoopings. It's been times where I would get slapped in the face, maybe cursed out for things. I was like the most responsible one out of all 3 of us. So everything was always on me. So if anyone's out of order, it fell on me. So like, if the house wasn't clean, if our beds weren't made, like anything goes down, like, oh, Kaliyah, I'm getting you. Like, she had any bad news, like, oh, the lights were on or whatever, I will get a whooping for it. Like, I've always hadn't been that kid everywhere I've been at, because I know like I'm not with my parents, and I know that if I do good here, I don't have to move around. So I know like every house I had to go to, I know like, Kaliyah, you cannot misbehave. And I knew that at 7, like, you cannot misbehave, you cannot be disrespectful, you have to be perfect, you have to put on this smile like life is great. If they ask you about how your foster mom treats you, you would just say like, oh, it was great, I love it there. Like, I had to pretend. After being with her, I had to move out and go to my next foster mom. And one day I went to the Boys and Girls Club and my caseworker was there, and she's like, oh, let me pull you 2 in the back, which was me and another girl who was in the household with my second foster mom. And she goes, I have something really bad to tell you. I'm like, oh, what is it? Like, and she goes, well, your foster mom had passed away. And the girl who I was staying with, she was crying. My caseworker, she was like, why are you not crying? Are you not sad? Because I was like, she's not my mom, she's not my family. And after a while, like, I just burst into tears because I was like, oh my gosh, like, Kaliyah, she really passed away. Like, this is sad, you know what I'm saying? During that time, my grandmother wanted me to stay with her. So we did like visitations on the weekends and stuff. And I would go with my grandma, and like everything just seemed so cool. Like she's buying me all this food. Like when I first opened my room, she had like all these gifts on the bed. And I was like, wow, my grandma really loved me. Like, wow, like a family member really wants to take me in. Like, this is great. That lasted for probably a couple months. And it was one particular weekend where she had like choked me and put me against the wall. I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot stay with my grandma. Like, I gotta tell the courts this, like, this is not it. So I remember I was telling my caseworker, like, they would try to be like, oh, it's okay. Like, you're okay. Like, just move in with her. Like, they was trying so hard to get me adopted from my grandma, because I guess they was trying to take in more kids, and they just knew like, Kaliyah, like, you're okay. You've been a foster kid like your whole life. Like, you need to get adopted. Like, you're getting older and stuff. My caseworkers and other people from the adoption team will be like, hey, you should get adopted because you'll be with your family and everything will be good. You'll be with your blood folks. Like, they'll just tell me this beautiful story on how like life will be great. But I knew like if once my grandma had choked me, like everything was gonna go downhill. My 7th grade year, like I started to see like who my grandmother really was. And I would see how like alcohol was something she was praising. And it was very much a concern. Like, she'll just be like cursing, yelling, throwing stuff. I just kind of had to keep my head up, make sure I just do good in school, come home and kind of stay out the way. Things in the household kind of like grew, because at nighttime she would come in the house like cursing me out, knocking the door down, choking me, pushing me against the wall, like telling me how like I would be like my parents, and I would be like just this drug addict. I would be on the street prostituting. Like, it was just so bad. And I knew that I already kind of like been through a lot, but I just knew like this was gonna be the time where like my whole life will just crash. Like, after this, like I just knew like this is not going to end well, because we're already not doing good. I'm already adopted. Everything I already went through, and I have no casework. I have no one to reach out to. I don't have a phone. So I was like, I'm gonna have to just put up with this. I remember it was just mornings where like she'll just choke me, throw me against the wall, and I would get so upset and just throw everything on the ground, and we'll have this phone like argument. And my anger grew so much in my body that when she had like hit me, I literally just took her shoulders and slammed her against the ground. And I was like, I can't do this no more. Because I said, I can't be beating my grandma like this. This is not appropriate. I can't get arrested. Like, this is my family. I cannot do this. So once I see her hitting the ground, I was like, I gotta do something, Lord. I gotta do something. Like, I'm gonna get arrested. My whole life is gonna go down drain. Like, I gotta do something. Like, Lord, help me. So after that day happened, like, I just wanted to kill myself. Like, draw pictures of guns and myself just on the floor dying. Like, I just really wanted to die after that, because like it's no point in me living, because like she was already cursing me out, coming home drunk, slamming doors, choke me, going like throwing me against the walls and stuff. And I was like, Lord, this is no point of living. Like, what is there left? Like, my parents are out doing what they want to. No family members are checking up on me. Like, this is it. I would just think like, Lord, I just want to die. Like, I just want to jump over this balcony and just end it. And I remember I would just cry. And I just remember like everyone saying like, you won't never be nothing. You'll need a man to survive. You'll need this, you'll need that. Like, you won't never make it in life. Like, it was just memories in my head. And I just really wanted to die. Like, what's the whole point of me living? So I'll take a knife and I would try to split my arm, and I'll just watch it like bleed. Like, it was just so traumatizing. And I just, like I said, just wanted to die. One day my guardian line was like, hey, I know somebody who wants to adopt you and take you in. I was like, okay, and I didn't know who it was. So she's like, yeah, you're volleyball coach. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah, she's looking for a girl, like kind of like a sister to her son, and she just want to take you in and see how everything goes. So I was like, okay, cool. Living with her was like, it was okay. Like we did go out of town and went to the mountains. I just remembering like in high school, I always struggled on school. And she would say like, oh, like you can't stay here if your grades aren't good. And during that time, my grades were kind of like dropping drastically, and I was getting a couple of D's and C's. I remember just trying to do homework and having tutor, and I was still failing. So it was just kind of like interesting because I feel as though she was trying to take me in, knowing like I was just this smart girl. I had honor, like you know, she just so exciting, and it wasn't that, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not sure if anyone shared her what my life story was, but I guess she just kind of trusted and believed that I was just gonna be like everything she was looking for, and I really wasn't. I didn't get adopted, so therefore they were like, well, we'll have to move you to a group home. I was like, oh my gosh, like I never been to a group home. I always heard bad things about it. So I remember I had packed up all my stuff, and it was just so sad because like every time I'm moving somewhere, I'm just expecting to get adopted, and that didn't happen. I moved out and I moved into this group home, and I'm like, wow, everything so is different. And the girls were like very welcoming, but when I seen cameras, I was like, this is interesting. So I just know what I'm thinking myself into. So when I moved in, them couple of months was hell on wheels. Fighting, cussing, sneaking out the window, this one dating this boy, and just a lot of stuff going on, like just drama for no reason, like cameras everywhere. Like if you wanted to go get soap and perfume or mouthwash, like it'll have a cabinet with locks on it. You couldn't really go anywhere without signing out. Being in a group home was horrible. Like I really had to toughen up, and I couldn't let anyone run me over because it was a lot of girls who already had like charges, had felons, had kids. Like it was just a place that I knew that wasn't for me. And I remember coming to the house, and I came through the door. I was like, wow, this is nice. Like, wow, this is nice. Big living room, nice kitchen towel, like table. I was like, this is like, when I tell y'all, like I thought this house was gonna be raggedy, like just broke. Like I didn't think half of the stuff I seen in this house, I was like, wow, like I was like, this is it. So I remember Tuesday dinner was starting, and I remember I was just about to go to the table, and I seen all these people sitting down. Once I got to know everyone, I kind of got used to it, and I was just kind of like ready to move in. And I remember Simone was like, oh yeah, you can move in Friday. I got settled. I was able to take a hot shower. I was able to eat, like get comfortable. I had a bed, save my money, go to school, like do what I need to do, focus on God and myself, release anger and stuff. Like it was just like an experience to remember. So I'm so glad that they accepted me, and I just love being here so much because like I needed that break of just survivor mode, being around everyone and stuff. Like I'm just so glad to just take a break and just think about me for once. And I'm the queen of the house now. I've been here for almost 2 years. What I accomplished, like one of the first things was getting insurance, getting my license together. Then I've completed cosmetology with honor roll and president's list. I also entered in real estate, which I'm doing very well. I graduate in January. Hopefully everything goes together. I pass. I'll be your top realtor. That's the goal. And some of the things I want to accomplish before I got here, I need to pay my car off. I really want to be debt free before I leave here. Also, I want to like have an apartment. I want to make sure that I'm financially stable. I'm in my dream career. And I also want to be able to give back to legacy if I ever be this top realtor in Florida. Like I want to definitely get back. There isn't another opportunity like this, so if you want to take advantage, I suggest you take advantage. If you're not used to being in a structured household, you're gonna be used to it. If you do want to start your journey at Legacy, I suggest you come here. Like, this is the household for family and for you to be successful. Like, this is it. If you would like to learn more about Legacy or donate, you can visit us online at legacyhousingproject.com. My name is Kaliyah and this is my story.